real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Bernadine Coleman Harper started using drugs at an early age, and she was addicted to heroin and crack cocaine for years. As a result, her 10 kids, including the defendant, were taken away by DCFS. And once she regained custody of the defendant, he was running with the wrong crowd and selling drugs. She's suing her son today for the value of a car. Defendant Dominatrix King says as a result of his mom's drug addiction, he was raised in foster care for nearly 10 years. Dominatrix admits that he got caught up with the wrong crowd and started selling drugs. And he first went to jail when he was just 15 years old.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I'm sorry that it had to come to this, because this is my son. I just want to tell you a little bit about me and my son. I was started on drugs at an early age. And
what age?
I was 18 when I started drinking, and I got on cocaine when I was 22. Then it escalated to heroin and crack cocaine. And
those are two different highs. How did you go from heroin to crack?
Went around different people that was doing it.
Did you do both?
No, first I was doing powder cocaine when I was 22. Then I moved to Chicago and got on heroin and crack cocaine.
Did you stop the cocaine when you started with the heroin?
Yes.
All
yes.
Right. You got tired of the upper and you wanted the downer?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And during that time, DCFS had took my kids. I got 10 kids. And while they was in DCFS, I was in and out of jail and in and out of prison. And during those times, while I was in and out of jail, I used to go to DCFS and see my kids. And this son of mine, he was always, acting out in DCFS. And when I did get him back, he had started hanging around the wrong people, selling drugs and in and out of jail. And ever since then, I've been clean for 18 years off heroin and cocaine.
What have you been doing to help your 10 children?
I've been having places to stay where they can come and visit, live with me. They have lived with me all through the years. But after a couple years, I had got on marijuana and alcohol, and I've been clean off of that for the last 2 years. I was off and on, and I just got my 2-year key tag for being clean for 2 years off
but
nothing.
The heroin and the cocaine is the big deal.
Yeah, I ain't been on that in 18 years.
That's 18, so how old are your children?
14 to 30.
14
to 30. Yeah.
All right.
And so since then, I've been trying to lead them in the right direction.
Doing what?
Showing positive stuff,
like
telling them positive things. I don't want them to be like me, going in and out of jail, because he's been back and forth to jail.
And the others been to jail?
Yeah, a couple of my other sons been to jail.
Did they get their high school diploma?
All of them got their high school diploma, except one, they got them in jail and in boot camp.
All right. You give me some background, young man.
Like she said, I went to DCFS. I was 3 years old until about 12 years old, you know what I'm saying, in and out of foster home.
What was your life like, emotionally and physically? In other words, were you troubled? Were you sad as a kid growing up? Tell us what the experience is like when you grow up in foster care, so that other women who have chosen heroin and crack over their 10 children will know what they experienced. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was troubled. I felt some type of way toward my mom. I felt resentment toward her. And like I said, I was sad growing up. My father died when I was 6 years old. I ain't had no father figure. So I acted out, probably for attention, probably for love, I don't know. And I still continue to act out. And I started hanging around the wrong people, started selling drugs, started drinking, smoking.
You didn't get on heroin or crack, though.
No.
That's usually the case. Most kids who are born and abandoned by their parent who is on crack or heroin, they don't do the same thing, thank God. When they look at the circumstances they were put in because of the crack and the heroin that their mother or father used. Now, some of them will get in other trouble. But most of them don't, because their life is so devastated by the crack and heroin addiction of their parent. They don't want to repeat that same devastation. And so they'll drink and smoke and sell and everything else and get in trouble, but thank God most of them do not do that because they are so horrifically damaged by their mother or father's drug addiction, and they recognize that their mother or father chose crack or heroin over them. And so it sounds like you were one of those young men who chose not to go that same route. And you ended up in jail at what age?
15, I got arrested. My first time I was arrested for selling drugs. And like I say, I've been back and forth ever since for other crimes. And like I say, I started drinking. And I be drinking a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right now, you still drink a lot?
Yeah.
How often?
I eat 5 days a week, probably.
How much?
Probably couple shots.
Couple shots a day, 5 days a week?
Yeah.
You think you need some help with your alcohol?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna try and get you some help. Did you get, your mother said you got a high school diploma. She said all of you guys did.
Yeah, I was incarcerated. I got GED, and like I said, I also was incarcerated. I got a couple college credits. Like I said, I'm trying to change my life. I want to change my life. I got an 8-year-old son, and I don't want him to grow up without no father figure.
Good. You didn't go any further than the few college credits?
No.
You didn't go skill trade or anything like that?
No.
So we'll find something for you. We're going to find that as well, either a skill training program that you don't have to borrow a lot of money to go to, or community college, or even a university. So tell us, ma'am, why you're suing him for the car.
I'm suing him because one day I let my son, D'Angelo, use my car, and he picked him up to take him home.
He picked who up?
He picked Dominitric up to take him home. And he said they went in the gas station, and when they came back out, he said he was under the wheel. He know he can't drive my car because he don't got no license. I only got 3 of my kids drive that got license. And he said he told him to get from under the wheel, and he said he'll lead him. And then my son said he's going back and forth with him. And then he said he got ready to pull off, so he tried to grab the door. So he dragged them a little and skeeted off. And he was driving around, I guess. Then the police pulled on because he wasn't turning on his signals and all that. And the police got my car. He had open alcohol in it, and he driving on revoked, so it was a $500 fine at the police station. Then another $500 fine for having open alcohol in there. Okay. So, and then the tow fee is different. So I got the paper for the tow fee. The tow fee on 831, it was $1,300 and $40 a day. The tow fee, that ain't even the impound. That's the tow fee. It's a fee at the Chicago Heights Police Station, $500 for open alcohol and $500.
Well, it is $1,100 for storage, ma'am. Most of it is for storage.
Yeah, okay, but it's a bond at the police station for open alcohol, $500, and driving on revoked for
all right.
$500.
And you spoke with him. Has he ever agreed to pay?
Yes, he been saying he gonna get my car out ever since. Every day he said he gonna get my car out.
Sir?
Yeah, I agreed to get our car out, but I haven't had enough time. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been working, and I don't got no job. You know what I'm saying?
All right, is that all you on is alcohol, man?
Yeah.
You not on pills or anything?
No.
All right.
No, yeah, that one, he just on alcohol. He can't even handle it.
Okay, well, we'll find out when they get you some help. In the meantime, I'm going to have to grant you the judgment. His only defense is he can't pay it, and that's not a legal defense. Good luck.
Thank you. I want to say to my son that I want him to stop drinking and get some help, because I don't want him to be like me, mess up his life, because alcohol is a drug. And I was on drugs when I was, at that age. And I love him, and I don't want him to, see him hurt or nothing, or back in jail, because alcohol leads you to jail, because it is a drug. And that's what got me in and out of jail and prisons, the drugs. And I just want him to get his life together.
Yeah, basically, I just want him to get himself together. It's still my brother at the end of the day. I love him.
I just want to tell my mom that I do love you. I'm trying my hardest to get myself together. I love both of y'all, and You know, I wish I could have made some better decisions in my life. Hopefully, God willing, I can in the future. I love you.
I love you too, son.
Plaintiff Michael Logwood and his wife Crystal say Michael was married to the defendant. And after their first child was born, the defendant started using drugs and sleeping around for money. Michael petitioned the court for a paternity test for their second child. And he's suing because the defendant is over $22,000 behind in child support. Defendant April Waller says she was only married to Michael for 6 months, and she filed for divorce because he was extremely controlling. April insists she didn't start using drugs until after her children were removed from her home. And although she has been sober for 6 months, she blames her addiction for her failure to pay child support.
All right, start with you. Give me some background.
Yeah, 96 we got together, and 97 we had a boy, and she started using drugs.
When?
In 97.
Okay.
Started using pills, things like that, and she was sleeping around with other men for money, drugs, and
How did you know this? She admitted?
she didn't admit to it, but there was close, because we live in a small knit town, and
You won custody, obviously, because
Yes, obviously.
you're suing her for child support. How did
Yes.
that come about?
That was in 2003.
Okay, what happened?
in 2003, she was married to a gentleman, and his house got raided for drugs, and I went and filed for custody for my children, and I won custody, and ever since I've won custody, we've had nothing but problems with her.
All right, ma'am, you want to give me some background?
Yes, Your Honor. We met, like he said, 20 years ago, and right off the bat, he was, okay, but then he started being really controlling. He would tie me to go to the grocery store. He would check the gas mileage in the cars.
When? Right after marriage?
Yeah, we was only married 6 months. I filed for the divorce.
Why only 6 months, you believe? Because of the...
Because of the controlling of, he didn't allow me to talk to my family.
How long had you all dated before marriage?
It would have been a year and a half, maybe.
Really? And you didn't know him by then?
You
didn't know he was controlling after a year and a half?
He wasn't controlling.
Why do you
in
think
the
he
beginning.
changed?
I'm not sure.
Okay, he's probably going to say because you were using drugs.
No, I did not start using drugs till after my.
When did you start?
It would have been when I had medical issues where I was prescribed painkillers.
When?
It was in 2000 and it probably would have been, I would have been 21 or 22, and it was after my children had been taken.
All right, what year were you, 21 or 22?
It would have been like 2004.
2004? Why were the children removed?
Because I was at a home where it had gotten raided. I was dating a gentleman, which he was super nice, yeah. Unfortunately, he sold drugs.
And you weren't using at that time?
No, at that
Just so happened a year later you were?
I did start using.
A year later?
After my medical problems.
No. A year after you were in the house with this gentleman drug dealer.
Yeah.
You just waited until then. While you were dating him all this time and the drugs were right in front of you, you didn't use any.
No.
But when they weren't in front of you anymore, what, you miss seeing them?
No.
You said, I don't see the drugs anymore. So let me buy some so I can see them. Come on, ma'am. I've been around. Go ahead. So what happened?
Like I said, I had medical reasons.
I got you, ma'am. I got you. And what type of drugs did you go to?
I was on painkillers.
And then what? That's it?
I've
Never
only
been addicted to anything other than painkillers?
No, only
Okay.
painkillers.
All right. And what type?
What type? Percocet?
Yes, Percocet. All right. And they started you out with Percocet?
Vicodin.
Right. And so you escalated to Percocet as a drug abuse.
Yes.
All right. So a lot of people don't do that.
I know.
Okay, so you became a drug abuser on your own, not necessarily because of your illness.
I'm not blaming
Don't blame
that.
your back for that, ma'am. Don't blame abandoning your children on your back. Not gonna let you do that. And you were saying you shook your head. It was more than just pain pills?
Yeah,
What
heroin
else was it?
heroin and crack.
Heroin?
Yeah.
Did you use heroin?
No.
Okay. What do you have?
Just here recently, back in
Right here. There's these here and these here also.
Let's see it. What is it? Possession of crack cocaine.
Yeah, crack cocaine.
Theft. Criminal assault. Theft. Why are you doing all this stealing? Passing bad checks. All right, where's the heroin though? I see crack.
I'm sorry. It was
Clearly you weren't selling the crack.
It was possession.
Right? Because all you did is go over to the house. Be at the wrong place at the wrong time. How'd you get the crack case?
The crack was in a car that was his, but had the
You say
plates
you only got raided at the house. You said the only problem you had was being at the house, ma'am. Now we see you had crack in the car. So you've already lied to me. Go ahead. Anything else you want to tell me so that we can get past these drug addict lies?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you clean
Been
now?
dealing with this forever.
Yes.
How long have you been clean?
6 months.
6 months. Can we give you a test today?
Yes.
All right, and if it comes up positive, are you willing to enroll in inpatient treatment?
Yes, I'm already in treatment.
Tell me about the child support.
the child support. She is $22,021.88 in arrears, and she's paid a couple times $100, and then before that, it was 2 years before that she paid anything. It was $100. So basically, she doesn't pay anything at all, and doesn't see the kids, doesn't want anything to do with them. She actually sent text messages to her daughter saying, "I don't have kids. You're not my kids. Don't call me for
I
anything."
wish you would die.
There's
and
two-
stuff.
there's
Here's
two letters from both.
Here's letters from the kids that both of them wrote.
See, I know what I'm doing. You all want to be, oh, it's a disease. She couldn't help it. Now, I will do that when you show remorse and you are legitimately in recovery. But when you come in with dope fiend lies and you show no remorse, I call it what it is. Now, if you go to inpatient treatment as a result of that test we're going to find positive, then you come back here, then I'll treat you like a recovering addict. But until then, I'm going to treat you like a crackhead or a dope fiend. All right, I am thankful, because listen to what your children say about you. I'm thankful for having my dad, my mom, Crystal. That's your name?
Yes.
She has helped me deal with things emotionally a lot, emotional problems. After seeing what it did to my mother, I will never touch a single drug in my life. I don't think any child should have to witness any of this. Meaning she did it in front of the child? Is that what the child was
No, but
saying?
she let the drugs overrule her life with the child or children.
Every time that I do go to try and see her, she just pushes me away. And whenever I see her in public, she acts like we are a stranger. Not that long ago, I asked where she was, and her response was, "How did you get my number?"
Yep.
I'm just tired of trying for nothing. Every time I get a hold of her, she just makes me feel horrible. She has said so many hurtful things to me. I'll never forget the time she told me that she wanted me to die.
Yep. Yep.
What do you have to say to the child support, ma'am?
Well, I had an addiction problem. I mean, as of now, I'm clean and sober. I've enrolled in school.
What do you say to the child support, ma'am?
I don't have the money right now.
You don't have the money? That's your defense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting my life back together. I don't have it right now.
Who cares? What about the child support?
I don't have
I say
money.
who cares because you show no remorse. I don't believe you're in recovery. I don't believe you're getting your life back together. I believe these last 6 months you've continued to use drugs, and you're conning me and telling me that you've been in recovery for 6 months. And for you to come in here today, show no remorse, lie, which I know you are, shows that you're not in recovery. And so I'm coming here, I'm getting my life together. Come here, run that recovery game on me after this child has suffered like that. Come back in a year, you tell me that in a year, then I'll have some sympathy for you. Petition for the DNA test. Why do you want that? If you've already fought for the children, you have the child, why do you want the child to suffer some more?
My daughter wanted it to be done.
This daughter?
She's pregnant. She's going to have a baby of her own, and for medical purposes too, just in case something goes wrong or something. And
You believe the child is yours or not?
I believe the child is mine, definitely, 110%.
Okay.
No matter if she wasn't, I'm still her father. There's nothing going to change that. I'm always going to be there for her.
You have any comment on the DNA test, ma'am?
No comment besides that she's never questioned it to me.
Because you won't talk to her.
Exactly.
Did you hear what she just said? You walked past her like a
Exactly.
stranger and won't say anything to her.
Okay.
So even if she did, you won't respond. You won't get the DNA results. See, folks, parents who ruin the lives of their children and then don't come in and show remorse. That's what bothers me.
Yep.
Don't show any remorse and lie. That, number one, lies prove you're not in recovery. That's the number one sign of recovery, is you're being honest and you show remorse for the lives that you've damaged. You show no remorse, you lied today, try to run that game on me, and I've seen it 1,000 times. I don't have any pity on you, ma'am. None at all. See what the tests say. You are the father. Judgment for the plaintiff. Good luck to you. Have a good day.
Worthless mom.
She knew what was going to happen. She wasn't there for her kids. That's all we ever asked for her to be there
And
for her kids.
nobody's ever denied her to be there, so for her to not be there is on her own. That's her own choice.
I just wish her luck.
She's missed out.
Maybe they can have a relationship down the line. So hopefully she is recovering, but
and
she
becomes
lies a
part of
lot.
their life.
So
I mean, that'd be awesome. They need her. They want her there.
Plaintiff Carlos Lara dated the defendant for 8 years, and he claims it was a rough ride due to the defendant's alcoholism. Carlos claims once when the defendant was drunk, she tried to assault him with a bat, and then she had him arrested by claiming that he assaulted her. He's suing for malicious prosecution, property damage, and rent. Defendant Irene Jardine says when she was pregnant with Carlos's son, he denied paternity, and right before she gave birth, he assaulted her. Irene claims after the baby was born, a paternity test confirmed that Carlos was the father. But he continued to be verbally and physically abusive. She's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I've known Irene for about 8 years from now, and it's been a rough 8 years, okay? I wouldn't be here today if she didn't lie to the cops and say I hit her.
Not true.
She maliciously prosecuted me.
What's been so rough over the 8 years?
Dealing with her alcoholism, Your Honor.
Wow.
What has been
it's pretty
occurring?
tough. A lot of things, Your Honor. You know, we would go to functions, family functions, outings, and she'll just have one too many. And she started mouthing off to people, mouthing off to me, just getting belligerent, getting loud. And it's pretty embarrassing. And I talked to her about it many times, and all that seems to do is make her drink a little more.
Not
so
true.
I try
Did you
to.
ever try to get treatment for her or ask her?
You know what, Your Honor? She hasn't even admitted once that she has an alcohol problem, nor has she even ever
How
admitted
often does she drink?
4 times a week.
4 times a
Four
week?
times a week, and we're talking about some wine,
How much?
the whole bottle. So
Once
I
a
mean,
week?
We're talking about 3 glasses full, and that's the whole bottle right there. And to wash it down,
4 times a week she would do that.
pretty much. And sometimes to wash it down, she'll have a little Hennessy with it. Okay?
Oh, you are
So-
you're
Even
lying.
at home?
Lying.
At home.
That's-
Yeah.
Lying.
I mean, she
That's
she
usually
can hold some
indicative of a
alcohol.
problem if you're drinking excessively at home.
Yeah, Your Honor.
To drink until you're drunk at home is indicative of a problem. You want to give me some background, ma'am?
That's lies. First of all, it all begins with me being pregnant with my son. He's been physically abusive, verbally abusive. These confrontations happen usually because he also drinks and smokes, and every time he's high, he likes to antagonize me, likes to say that I'm cheating. Then it turns into him physically abusing me.
Now, why do you say it started with the child?
Because when I was pregnant, he denied that my son was his and said that I cheated and denied DNA test.
Okay, how long ago was that?
7 years ago.
Has there been conclusive evidence yet?
Yes, I have a DNA test.
Are you certain?
Child's mine.
Okay.
But, Your
so there's
Honor-
never been a question in your mind?
Yes, there was.
When?
In the beginning of her pregnancy. And let me tell you why.
When did you be? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. She would tell me it's not mine. She would either play around or being serious. That's why the baby's not yours. And hey, you know what? All I need to hear that is one time.
Okay. Ma'am, you say that's not true?
That is not true.
How did the issue of the child initially come up?
We would have arguments, but it was never about.
No, once, the first time. Yeah, I'm sure you remember that.
Nope.
Okay, he says he knows. He says it came up because you told him it wasn't his during the course of an argument, and you don't know what started the issue. I got it. All right. Go right ahead.
My son's birthday, April 12th, 2014. We had a party at the house. Friends, family came over. Everything was going great until Irene started drinking, and then she started getting violent. So.
What was the issue?
She got mad, upset at me for calling her out in front of everybody drinking. So she started mouthing off to me. I started mouthing off back, as we usually do, just go back and forth. She goes and picks up a bat, and she started swinging it on me. So I'm ducking and dodging the bat.
Really?
Here comes my neighbor. He grabs the bat from her.
Wow.
So then they start tussling. So my neighbor grabbed the bat from her, and she flew down the carport, and there she goes, trying to grab another bat. So what happened was, when she grabbed that second bat, it's time to call the police, because I ain't gonna go through this anymore.
Who called the police?
I called the police first, and then once she noticed that I was on the phone with the police and I hung up, she wants to call the police. So, whatever, the cops come, they just, we're telling each other's story, and she claimed I hit her. So, I'm like, no, I told the officers I didn't hit her.
She said you used to abuse her regularly. How often have you hit her?
I don't hit her. And let me tell you why I don't hit her. Because she's gonna call the cops on me, and I'm gonna go. I can't afford to go to jail, Your Honor. I got a lot to lose.
So in this instance, the police came,
Okay.
and then what? Did they talk to a witness?
No witness. Not that I know
Why?
of. Everybody left. They didn't want to get involved. The only one that was around was my cousin Tone, but he went in the house. You know, he doesn't like the cops much. And my, sorry. and my neighbor.
Why don't you like the cops? They're friendly fellas, for the most part. Go ahead.
Okay. And same for my neighbor that grabbed the bat. He didn't want to get involved and all. So the cops started questioning us. She said I hit her. I told the cops I didn't. And they were like, look it, we don't see a mark on her, and we know she's lying. But we got to take someone to jail. This is a domestic call, so turn around, Mr. Lara. We're going to... I'm like, oh, no, wait, stop, no. She's lying. They're like, look it, don't worry about it. We're just going to be dismissed anyway, but we got to take someone to jail. I can't take his word for that. So I'm in jail, and I have to bail out. And
bailed you out
sure
then?
enough, excuse me?
Who did you call begging to bail you out?
I'm sorry. I called her to bail me out, okay? And because she knew she did wrong,
You tell me
she
about the
bailed me
incident,
out.
ma'am.
Let me go ahead and tell
Anyone
you the
have a
truth.
police report? You have your
sure
police
do.
report
Let me-
regarding that incident?
There you go.
Go ahead.
Yep.
The truth of the story is, on my son's birthday, we're barbecuing. Remind you, I cooked, I did everything for that barbecue for his birthday party. Carlos had started drinking way before people were coming. Got high and drunk. I'm cooking and I'm barbecuing the chicken. He comes behind me and puts me in a chokehold. He did that twice. His cousin was there and looked at him like, what are you doing? And that was him playing, he says. Later on that night, it turned into, we were watching the fight. He ordered the fight. So turned into him pushing me. My sister was there.
What fight was that?
The Mayweather fight, and he fought somebody else. I wasn't sure who it was.
Canelo Alvarez?
Alvarez.
Yes.
Yep. Good memory. Yeah. So,
He's
Your
a
Honor,
good fighter, but Mayweather's the greatest.
Yeah.
Alvarez is probably one of the top 5 fighters.
Well, if he stops dancing around, then, you know, he could probably...
Oh.
get into
Would you want him to just stand there and get beat up?
True to that.
Hit me, hit me, hit me. No, he does that.
Ducking and
Then
dodging.
he pops you. Pow! Sucker. Pow! The goal is to win.
But, Your Honor, I didn't put her in a chokehold like she's claiming I did.
Yes, you did. You watched too much of that fight.
No, Your Honor.
Exactly.
She's saying that I did that before the fight.
Yeah, you did.
I did, Your Honor.
Yes, you did.
Go ahead, ma'am. So continue.
So later on, he started getting very aggressive. He gets very vicious, very violent when he drinks and he's high. He doesn't know his own strength. Like, he thinks I'm only 5'2". He thinks like if he pushes me, I'm not gonna fly across the room. So he pushes me, my sister sees it. My sister got confrontational with him and said, don't put hands on her again. Later on that night, there was an argument between his friend and a family member. When that fight happened, I walked the dude outside and I said, okay, you guys gotta go. So I walked down the street, walked into his car, came back. He was coming down the street, accused me of flirting and accusing me that I was cheating and slapped me across my face.
She making this up.
Nope.
Because she does this all the time because she was afraid to go to jail that day because she was very intoxicated.
Oh, no, that is not true.
So
and
that
I
was her
have
way of
actually
backing out.
Pictures of his
Trying to get out
past
of a
violence.
situation.
My lip when it was bruised from him hitting me. I have a picture of him when he actually...
Past violence. And when did that happen?
That was, I believe, in May. In fact.
What happened then?
We went to a party.
Let me see the bruises.
May what?
In May, she says.
Okay.
And what happened, ma'am?
I think that was the one in May where we went to a party and again, drinking and smoking. And Carlos, I was in the restroom, taking my son to the restroom. People were banging on the door. So when I opened the door and I was like, I'm coming out, that's when Carlos struck me in my lip. And so...
Just because you came out of the bathroom too
Yeah,
late?
he was saying I was being loud.
Okay. Sir, do you recall that incident?
No, I don't. It's not true.
What happened?
Once again, we get to this kid's birthday party I was invited to, brought her and the kid.
You all do too much partying, but go ahead.
Kid's birthday
Or
party.
you should be banned from these birthday parties. Go
I'm
ahead.
done now. I'm done.
So what happened?
What happened was...
She is in the bathroom like she says?
I didn't hit her in the bathroom.
What happened? Was she in there in the argument afterwards?
No. What happened was is she got involved with some girl there, being
That's
drunk,
not
getting in their
true.
business. She doesn't know anybody there. And the other girls started mouthing off to her. They started mouthing off back. She went to the bathroom. I went in there and said, hey, it's time to go, because you're off the hook. She's drinking that wine and Hennessy again. And so we go,
That's not
I take her
true.
outside. We leave. We get to the house.
Will you stop lying?
Quiet, ma'am.
We get to the house. The alcohol really kicked in then. Your Honor, I'm driving.
Did you hit her? She shows me evidence
No,
of
I did- no,
something that I can't even
It's
see,
a
ma'am, to
No,
be
Your
quite
Honor.
frank.
There's a bruise.
That's just a
Now
big
let's
lip.
go back to these other reports.
just a big lip.
It is reported on here, previous domestic
Thank you.
disputes.
Yep.
February 14,
Yep.
twice. February 2nd, February 3rd, and then March 17.
Your
And
Honor.
this incident was in April.
Thank you.
So all of these incidents, how much time has he ever served?
None.
Why?
Because he manipulates me and I feel sorry for him. and I
Manipulates
go-
you how? Are you
It's
stuck
not-
there with him, or you don't have any family you can go to?
I don't.
You have no family.
I have my mom that's ill, but
Why couldn't you go to your mom's house? Ma'am, you are just hurting your credibility, I'll tell you that.
Your Honor.
Telling me you don't have any family to go to and you have a mother. If she's ill, that's even more of a reason to go there and help her out. Sir, what happened with this case?
Your Honor.
What happened with the case after you went to jail?
She came to court and testified. Well, I went to the DA when I got out of jail, and they said, well, if she didn't do it, have her come in the courtroom and testify. So I went and talked to her and said, hey, you need to go in this courtroom and let them know the truth, because they're about to send me
And
to
what
jail for
happened?
this. She came to court and said, swore on oath and said, hey, I did not hit him, and I am so sorry.
Did you recant that?
I
in
did.
court?
I did.
Under sworn testimony?
Your Honor, I did because
Okay,
one,
that's perjury. You could have been jailed for that. All these disputes, yeah, I believe you all were fighting. You're probably both getting drunk, fighting each other from time to time. But you going and lying, committing perjury means that you are willing to go to jail over him. So there's something very wrong with that picture. I just don't believe you love him that much that you will go to jail for him. Doesn't make sense, and I don't think you're that stupid. Now, property damage and unpaid rent. Let's get to that.
Okay, Your Honor. We'll get to the rent first. She stayed with me in October of 2014. She stayed with me the whole month. She stayed with me.
Did she agree to pay you?
She agreed to pay me.
Did you agree to pay?
No, I didn't.
I don't believe
And
you
she
anyway.
left. And
That
she
was your
left.
woman. She ain't agreed to pay you
She
anything.
left.
Now, let's get to this. Property damage. How does she owe you for property damage?
Your Honor, she came. I'm going to work. I got to work at 9:30 in the morning. She came over at 9:10, came in the house, and I'm looking at her like, what are you doing? I got to go to work. She goes, oh, I don't know. She wanted to argue in there. Oh, I ain't got time for this.
And what
so
happened,
I walked her out, and then once she got out, I shut the screen door on her. And what did she do? Boom! Kicked the door and left a big old dent up in the door. And this is my aunt's house.
Ma'am, did you do this?
Nope, it was again self-defense.
All right, so you never kicked his screen.
Not like he said I did, and not
you
like.
said you didn't kick it at all, ma'am. Now you're saying not like he said you did.
Yeah, I
Those are
with
two
my
different
foot out
things.
of self-defense.
Let's get to your counterclaim for $5,000, ma'am. You're being dishonest with me. You were dishonest with the other judge. Some of this probably happened, but you being a liar has hurt you all the way through that case and now through this case. Let's get to your emotional distress. $5,000. How does he owe you for that? Give me the property damage estimate.
It's just 8 years of back and forth. Of
Right,
sitting
back
here.
and forth. You just said it. How much do you want for your door, sir? You don't have it?
Yes, I do.
Come here with this mess. You just said it, back and forth. But you lied under oath with your arm up in the air. You just lied to me saying you never touched the door, and then you caught yourself and you said, well, I did a little, but not like he said. Both your claims are dismissed with regard to all this stuff other than your property damage, $451. She agrees that she did it a little bit. Have a good day.
Irene, you need some help? Take an alcohol class, you know. I'll help you get through that, and, you know, we got a kid together, so we gotta have to do this right. So that's all I gotta say. Still family. Still family.
I'm done. He lies. He continuously lies and makes these stories. So I'm just can't deal with him.
Plaintiff Constance Ashley says the defendant is her daughter, and she was a troubled child who dropped out of school at the age of 14. Constance claims she was living with the defendant, but she called the police and had Constance removed from the home, and she's suing her daughter for unreturned property. Defendant Danielle DeLashman says Constance was never there for her or her 5 siblings due to her drug addiction. Danielle claims after Constance went to jail for stabbing her sister, Danielle got custody of 2 of her siblings. But they were taken away after Constance called DCFS and said Danielle was selling ecstasy. She's countersuing for defamation.
Start with you.
Okay, Your Honor. Danielle growing up was, you know, a troubled teen, 14, dropped out of high school, drinking, drugging. So I let her get...
Did you get her counseling or anything?
We tried, but she was able to turn it down and they couldn't make her do it. She denied it and they wouldn't make her do it.
That would be an objection.
Hold on.
Department of Children and Family Services, because back then, Your Honor...
They say it's up to you.
Yes. And we had a case...
Back when?
Back in 2003 or 4, when she was like 14. I had a DCFS case back then because I was on drugs. They put all the kids in the system and they offered her help and she denied it.
Yeah, you were on drugs when they told you that. You misunderstood that.
Your Honor,
we're not going to debate that, ma'am. We're not going to debate that.
Okay,
what else
Your
you
Honor?
want me to know
well,
other
no, she
than...
never got any counseling.
Thank you.
Okay. I have 4 other daughters. One started to go in the direction she was going. I didn't want that, so me and that daughter got into an altercation back in 2011. She attacked me with a chair, and we were in the kitchen, so I grabbed the knife off the counter, and I cut her hand. She dropped the chair. I was arrested. They charged me with an aggravated battery. I took the plea, and done my time. At this time, a month before.
What was that?
What was the time? 5 years. A month before I came home, DCFS gave custody.
Had you been convicted of other crimes in the past?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many?
2, 3.
You're not sure how many?
I mean, I got a history.
No, Your Honor.
You're not sure how many?
No.
Okay, so it's more than 2 or 3. Because if it was only 2 or 3, you'd be pretty sure unless you lost your memory.
Well, it's like 20-something years, Your Honor. So
yeah, it's been 35 for me. I was arrested 4 times as a juvenile. I was convicted once as a juvenile and once as an adult.
Pretty good memory.
What type of drugs were you on?
Crack cocaine, Your
You
Honor.
on crack?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people on crack and they remember how many times they were arrested. That's why you got 5 years. How many times she been arrested?
She was a minor.
I bet you know more.
I got her background stuff right here. I wouldn't know, but it say 18 counts.
That's 18 counts. That doesn't mean anything. It said convicted. Anyway, Your Honor, a month before I came home. A month before I came home, Danielle had got custody of 2 of my minor children. When I came home, I moved in with her. Now, even though
that's an objection.
This was not under DCFS supervision, but I moved in anyway to help her take care of the children because she wasn't responsible enough to take care of the children.
That's an objection.
So March 17th, me and her got into an argument about a charger, a phone charger. I went back and I was talking to the kid's father about what had just occurred because I didn't want to go back to jail, Your Honor. And she called the police.
Why not?
Because next time it's not.
Why not? Because I'm on
like
parole.
you were pretty used to it. Attempted murder, aggravated battery, aggravated domestic violence, aggravated domestic violence, aggravated domestic violence.
All those charges were dropped, Your Honor. They couldn't prove none of those things. All those were dropped.
Let me hear from you. You're starting to sound like a dope fiend again. Go ahead. Now, you might not be on dope, but you got crackish ways today. Go ahead. Let me hear from you.
Well, growing up, my mother's never always been a mother to me or my other 5 siblings. We actually think she loves her alcohol and drugs more than she did her kids because if some of her drugs came up short, she'll beat us or try to make us throw up and see if her drugs was in it.
I object, Your Honor. I've never beat them over any drugs. I was a better mother on drugs than mothers that did not.
Anyways, in 2011, she did get incarcerated for stabbing my sister. And 2014, I got custody of 2 of my siblings.
How old are you?
I'm 26. I'll be 27.
How old are your siblings?
At the time, they were 6 and 13. Now they just made 6 and 12. They 13 and 7.
And what years was your mother absent from your life? Or what years was she drug addicted? What years was she a crackhead?
From 0 to 23. 20.
Your Honor, I've been clean 8 years.
Let her finish, ma'am. Let me hear from her.
8 years.
And
8 years.
All right. So, ma'am, please. Young lady, I wanted to applaud you for what you're doing, what you went through, and the fact that you're now taking care of your siblings.
I don't have them now because she got them taken from my home.
How so?
I got incarcerated in January for some Vicodin pills.
What are you laughing at?
Your Honor,
see, what bothers me is when you crackhead mamas who then chose crack over your babies and they don't come out perfect because you've neglected and abandoned them for crack. And then she ends up suffering. She ends up incurring the consequences.
Your Honor, that's not my demeanor. I love my daughter, and I want help.
You love crack more.
I was incarcerated. Everything is right there. I got locked up for some Vicodin pills. I went to visit my god sister. I came outside, me and my boyfriend. The police pulled up and said, "Is this a domestic?" and put all us on the car. As they searching us, I said, "I have some Vicodin pills in this pocket because I have severe abdominal pains that I have every month."
You have a legitimate prescription. I'm looking right at it. You have a legitimate health history.
So, they locked me up because I didn't have my ID or no prescription, or the pills wasn't in the prescription bottle. So they informed me I could cop out for 4 days of drug classes. I did that. I finished them. The case could get dismissed and thrown out or whatever. My mother here Called Section 8 DCFS and informed them that I was selling and using ecstasy pills. That's why I was incarcerated.
Your Honor, I never
That's
said
why I'm
she was
suing.
selling anything. I said she's a user. She is a current
And I haven't
user.
used ecstasy in 5-6 years, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's not true. Her and her boyfriend, I stayed in the house with her for 6 months. Me and the children had to endure all the weed smoking, all
I
the
smoke
pill
weed.
in there,
pops.
right.
I smoke weed.
You went over there because you heard some good drugs over there. I know you did.
So,
I know you did stay over there.
me and
I know
and
you had to have her removed, didn't you?
yeah.
You
Your
couldn't
Honor,
sleep at night
me and
without her knocking on the door. Y'all doing anything in there? Got a hit?
Me and the children had to endure, you know, the domestic violence, but I never said
We have
anything
endured
about
domestic violence.
I never said anything about to DCFS because I was there with the children. The children were happy that I was there, and I was happy to be with the children. March 17th, she called the police, had me removed from her home.
Why?
Because we got into it about a phone charge.
No, because
following
she always
day,
come to my house raising hell.
DCFS asked her to remove all the dogs from her home. Her boyfriend kept one of the dogs.
The following day.
My children were there.
I know. Who contacted them?
I called them.
The very next day?
Yes,
After
sir.
she put you out?
Yes, sir.
Or asked you to leave?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor,
What are you suing her for?
when I came the next day to get my belongings, she told, I had contacted her by text message asking her, do I need to bring the police with me to get my belongings? I stayed there for 6 months. So the next day I called, the police took me over there. She said I didn't have anything there. I texted her again. I said, look, Danielle, don't do anything crazy. Just give me my belongings. And she wouldn't. So I have the itemized list of the belongings.
Okay, let me see your list. What happened, young lady?
Okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning. She thinks she gave me Section 8. When she got
I did.
incarcerated,
She
Your
has
Honor,
the
since
same
I was
ID
20,
number.
since I was 18, she always told me I'm not on her link card, I'm not on her Section 8. So when she got incarcerated, a couple of months passed, Section 8 called me like, hey, you know your mother's incarcerated, you didn't tell us, we're gonna take the Section 8. So I went down there and talked to the people and say, hey, I knew nothing of this, I'm not on her lease.
Your Honor, that's
They told me,
ignorant.
well, here,
Finish, ma'am.
they gave me the Section 8, long story short. So now her whole thing is, I gave you Section 8, I did this, I did that. I have a video that you can also see of how she thinks my house is so her house.
Your Honor,
Let's see it. Let's see the video.
You don't tell me. This mouse.
All that phone.
This mouse. This mouse. I'm telling you, this got to go, man. Tonight, you got to go. Put him out, Danielle. I promise you, put him out. Put him out before he be dead. The crackhead be dead. Cause he is a crackhead.
Oh, you mad about that crack? Okay.
No, I'm mad now.
That's a
Y'all should just gave her some of that.
He almost had just hit
You
me in the
mad
head with the
about
door.
that crack, doctor?
No, no.
I bet you won't deny no crack no more. Go ahead, young lady.
And these is the text messages that she's talking about that I denied her from getting anything. She got everything. Okay, I went to the school to get the kids on the 18th, and as we was walking up, my mother was standing outside with the police. She informed me she had some stuff in my house. I told her, no, you do not. My little sister said, yeah, she do got a couple of things up there. She went upstairs, grabbed whatever she had, and she has it all, except for a bed and a couch that she got from my auntie.
No, sir.
Where are those
Which is,
things?
It's still at my home waiting to get thrown out because it's infested with bed bugs.
But I haven't been there for months. They're not my bed bugs.
Yes, they is because I told her don't bring the stuff to my house because
I haven't been there for a couple of months.
And she kept
What's your
wanting
counterclaim for?
It's for defamation of character and emotional distress
What did
because
she
this
do?
was just too much. She called Section 8 and told them that I
That
got
was true.
incarcerated for ecstasy pills.
That was
She
true.
called DCFS and got my siblings taken. She called the dog pound and told them that my 2 pit bulls is ripping and running up and down the streets when I stay on the 2nd floor and there's 4 doors to get out my front door and back.
I told them that you had a dog there that had not had
That's
their
enough.
shot.
Ma'am, she says you can get your property, so I'm
But
going
you
to
just
give
said
you...
they're full of bed
That's
bugs.
right,
Your Honor.
so it's still
They're
yours.
not my bed
Yes,
bugs.
it is. It's your
I
property.
haven't been there.
They was your sisters.
You have 10 days to get your property.
I haven't been there,
And
Your
your
Honor. What
claim
about
is
my
granted.
other-
Your claim is granted.
What about
She
my
has-
other belongings,
You can
Your
get it
Honor?
all. Your claim is granted. She retaliated against you by calling Section 8. She retaliated against you over the dogs, so that has caused you emotional distress. Your judgment is granted, and
Thank
you
you
get
very
your things
much.
within 10 days. You'll give them to her within 10 days,
don't
won't you?
want this
You have to
stuff.
go and get it.
Bed
Well, if you
bugs.
don't want it, your claim is dismissed. Good.
Thank you.
You don't want it.
Thank you.
Dismissed.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. bed bug stuff. Talking about go get it.
Because I told you don't bring it to my house when your sister told you she got a check for bed
wasn't
bugs
no
and you had to
bed
pay
bugs
$20,
in that
$30.
stuff.
So why am I bit up?
Why
was
you
your
still
leg
got it
bit
in
up?
your house?
Because you suing me for it, and I wasn't gonna throw it away until I got that. It's dismissed. It could go in the garbage
you
now.
was still getting beat up. I mean, ate up.
Exactly. Because I would rather get ate up than happen to get sued for something
So
that I
now,
don't
see,
have
he should have heard that. That's insanity. Them drugs right there. Talking about you would rather get ate up. Now, see, you gonna try to blame all that stuff on
get some money for
all
some
that
shit
stuff
ain't
on
even yours.
me.
Your sister gave you that with your dumb
See how disrespectful.
What's disrespectful? See how disrespectful you is? Where your kids at?
On their way home.
Exactly.
On their way home.
Exactly.
On their way home.
Exactly. Keep up your kids' life like you do, baby.
Plaintiff Christina Cole says the defendant is her cousin, and she's such a severe heroin addict that she lost custody of her daughter. Christina claims the defendant filed false criminal charges against her, and as a result, she was thrown in jail. So she's suing for the cost of a college class, books, and emotional distress. Defendant Veronica Cole admits that she's a recovering heroin addict, but insists she never lied to the police about Christina. Veronica says Christina not only stole from her, but she also assaulted her. Veronica's countersuing for the assaults and emotional distress.
Start with you.
Veronica is my cousin. She is a heroin addict. At the time, my grandmother was sick. Veronica was stealing from my grandmother.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I just would like to interrupt that and let it be known that my aunt was getting her medications.
I'll let you
and
do all
selling
of that
those.
when it's your turn. Go ahead. She shoot or snort?
She shot before. I've never seen her do it myself, but yes, she has
told
shot
you that?
before. Yes.
Go ahead.
My grandmother was sick. She had a stroke. Veronica was living with my grandmother at the time, and Veronica started stealing all my grandmother's jewelry, pawning it to feed her addiction habit.
How do you know?
Statements from my aunt that Veronica wrote on a police statement, some of the stuff she stole.
All right, good enough.
One of the rings that she reported on the false charges that she pressed on me was on that police report.
Okay.
I had custody of Veronica's daughter at the time that she lost due to her heroin addiction.
Okay.
My grandma's funeral was July 30th of 2013. The day before my grandmother's funeral, Veronica went into my grandmother's house and stole her china out of her china cabinet, stole clothes she had just received for her birthday with tags still on it to sell and pawn to feed her addiction. The next day at my grandmother's funeral, Veronica came in. Nobody wanted her there because what she'd done the night before. And Veronica caused a big scene in the funeral home, grabbed my grandmother's casket to the point it was shaking. And the funeral directors called the police and had her removed from my grandmother's funeral and told her she couldn't come back. If she did, she was gonna go to jail. That's when her vendetta started against me, and she went and filed 2 false police reports on me, August 1st of 2013 and August 4th of 2014.
Okay. Saying what?
The first one said that I broke into her room. I stole her Suboxones, which is the narcotic that they give you to come off of heroin. And there were several others listed. Okay. She said that me and my friend put her in a headlock while I ran through her pockets and stole $73 and some cigarettes.
Are you on heroin too?
No, Your Honor. I've never done drugs. No.
So why you do it?
I absolutely never put my hands on her. I never touched her.
You didn't say whether you took the stuff or not. That's
Oh,
the
no.
question I'm asking.
Oh, no. I have the witness statement. I didn't even see Veronica or any of her things when she says I broke in her room, because my aunt was there, and she's the one that called me to come over and ask Veronica to leave and stop taking my grandmother's stuff.
All right, so she filed this report. You have the report?
Yes, I do. This is the first one.
All right. So you're saying it's a false claim she filed against you?
Yes.
And the next incident?
My uncle was having a birthday party, and Veronica and a cousin of mine, a male cousin of mine, got into a physical altercation.
Because of the allegations, no doubt, of her stealing from grandma's stuff?
I don't honestly know. I don't know why they got into it. They got into a fist fight. After that, when the police came, Veronica told them that me and my cousin jumped her. And again, I did not put a hand on her.
Why she keep blaming you?
Because she thinks she's blaming me for being kicked out of my grandmother's funeral. She says it's my fault that she was kicked out of the funeral home.
Were other people arguing and fussing?
No, not that day.
Just she's the only one disrupted. I have my nieces in here today, and her mom passed recently, and I had dinner with the immediate family, and the first thing I said to them, you all just make sure you make a commitment to yourselves, because a lot of tension, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of pressure, and you know, hurt kind of is goes along with anger. You know, it comes out at the funeral. All right, and so she alleged that you did that and filed the police report again?
Another police report,
Let's
yes.
see that. And they got to arrest you at some point. Now, you keep doing all this. When did they arrest you?
I found out I had a warrant.
There you go.
Yep.
See there?
And I turned myself in on August 8th.
That's what's supposed to happen, messing with this woman. Let me hear her side.
Me and Christina, we were very close at one point. And where our relationship started going sour, her daughter had stayed with me. She was throwing underage parties in my home.
You like that heroin?
I mean, I am a recovering heroin addict,
Good.
yes.
You said it the right way. All right.
Yes, I am a recovering heroin addict,
Good.
yes. It was Suboxone that did come up missing out of my room, yes.
Good. All right, I'll give you credit for that, and I won't refer to you in any terms that might be degrading,
Yes,
because you have been working on changing your life. Good.
Yes.
All right. You and her daughter stayed together?
Yes, I allowed her daughter to come live with me. I had belongings destroyed. Christina herself come into my house and destroyed belongings.
Why?
Destiny, her daughter had called her and told her this is what was going on, but Christina at the time didn't have no idea what was going on. So she come into my home and destroyed my belongings, leaving letters on my refrigerator, just...
Saying what?
Telling me that I couldn't eat anything in my refrigerator. Me and my child couldn't eat anything.
You couldn't eat anything?
In my own refrigerator, yes, correct.
What about the allegations that you filed a false police report against her?
Yes, I got a phone call that the lock was pried off my bedroom. I got there, they said it was, you know, her and her
They whom?
Family members. It states in the police report. Yes, it states in the police report that they would like to remain anonymous.
Let me see your police report. Say they would like to remain anonymous?
Yes.
But they talk directly to the police, the anonymous people?
Yes. Yes.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
I don't see that, man. You tell me, you read where it says they said they want to remain anonymous.
That's what she told them.
That's what she told. She did tell them? That's in the police report? All right, good enough. Let's get to the next
Several
incident.
family members whom wished to remain anonymous stated that suspect 1, Christina, broke into the room and with the assistance of suspect 2.
And she said you're the one that told the police they want to remain anonymous. So, and that goes with the false allegation. That's what she's saying.
Yes.
All right. Did they arrest her for that or track her down? Or
As far as I know, nothing was pursued. I never went and actually put charges.
Did you get your things back?
Huh?
Did you get your things back?
No, I left well enough alone.
Did
I
you
moved on with my life.
Okay, you just let it go?
Yes.
All right, next incident.
All right, the next incident was the assault on August 4th. One cousin had attacked me. Christina being with him, come for me as well.
All right, and the police came, they put a warrant out on her, and she turned herself in later?
I was not aware of that, Your Honor, no.
After being attacked, you have no idea what the police ever did?
No.
You just keep filing charges against her?
Yes. What else am I supposed to do?
And not following up? All right, so when you went to turn yourself in, what occurred?
I went to jail. I was placed in a public Crime Times magazine stating that I put her in a headlock. Embarrassing. I went to court over 10 times, And from me going to court, I was actually in college at the time. I was in a fast track program. Under the agreement, I couldn't miss more than 2 classes a semester. And because of going back and forth to court and being in jail, I missed 4 classes, and I failed that class. And now I have to pay to go back. And
that's part of your emotional distress as well. Why did you have to go to court so many times?
Because she refused to show up, and I was going like separate days for both charges, in which I have here every court date.
They should have dismissed it the first time she didn't show up.
Every court date, every
What city
hearing.
is this?
Toledo, Ohio.
They should have dismissed it the first time she failed to show. Ma'am, were you aware that she was being prosecuted?
No, and the
This
one...
is the first time you're hearing it?
Yes.
Your counterclaim is for what, ma'am?
My counterclaim is for the assaults and the emotional distress.
Convince me that it happened.
Well, the first and
Now,
the second.
convince me. You described it, but you never followed up in court. This woman went 10 times.
You're absolutely right, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay,
I know I am.
Of course, it's family.
I know I am.
It's family, so yes.
Prove that it happened.
Yes, I did not go to court.
You can't prove that it happened?
Neither can she.
Her claim is that you made the allegation and that you never followed up after having her jailed. She did prove it. My, neither can she. Yes, she has. You didn't follow up one time.
And Your Honor, I actually have a voice recording of her with my witness stating that she lied and fabricated the whole story.
Let's hear it, because if you did that, ma'am, you're a dope fiend. Let's hear it.
You're telling me that put you in a headlock and Christina ran through your pockets. Like, you can everybody else, but please don't lie to me, because I feel like we've always kept it 100 and you can't sit here. I really don't see them doing it.
You hear what you said, dope fiend? You said I did fabricate the story. You ripping off your own grandmama to get high. Yeah, get out of here. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Have a good day.
Karma's isn't it, Veronica? You send me to jail, get me kicked out of school. How's it feel?
You know what you did, okay? You jumped me 3 times. 3 times. Not
okay,
once,
but
not
I
twice.
fabricated
3.
it, right?
I might be a heroin addict, but you're the one that's in the wrong.
I did, but you're the one that lied on tape.
I just want to tell you first off, you know what you did, and you know what you did was wrong, okay? 9 people, Christina. 9 people outside of a 7-Eleven.
Okay, but there was
They
cameras.
didn't play
I
that
told you
video.
to get it. No, but I told you to get it. Didn't nobody put
How
their
am I
hands
supposed
on
to
you?
get
I
it?
never once put my hands on you.
But you
And
just admitted.
proved-
But you just admitted.
But you
Go ahead
filed
and get the
3
camera, right?
police reports on me that were false.
Because we are family. Because we are family. And my mother taught me that we stick together.
Negative.
Regardless.
Not when you send me to jail over some false